Today, I'll focus on the Public Affairs Department and its role in business plan development. We'll consider how this function is structured, what responsibilities it brings to the planning process, and why it matters strategically to the organization. The central idea is that public affairs is not separate from business planning. It helps connect the plan to the broader environment in which the business operates. This perspective will guide our discussion of its role, structure, and strategic importance. Public affairs is a strategic function that manages a company's relationships with the people and institutions shaping its external environment. That includes government bodies, regulators, the media, community groups, and the broader public. Unlike marketing or public relations, public affairs centers on policy, advocacy, and civic engagement. It helps an organization understand expectations, communicate its position, and participate responsibly in public discussions. In a regulated environment, a strong public affairs function can determine whether a business plan succeeds or fails. Public affairs is not a side function. It is a strategic part of business planning. It helps us anticipate regulatory shifts and political risks before they disrupt operations. It also builds trust with the communities, governments, and investors who influence our ability to succeed. By tracking legislation and policy trends, we gain competitive intelligence and can prepare earlier than others in the industry. Ultimately, public affairs protects our license to operate by maintaining the public and regulatory support needed for our business activities. This slide outlines the core functions that connect the Public Affairs Department to its broader strategic role. Government relations keeps the company aligned with policymakers and aware of the public policy environment. Community relations builds grassroots goodwill and strengthens local trust. Media relations helps shape the public narrative, while crisis communications protects the organization's reputation when pressure is highest. Together, these functions create a coordinated approach rather than isolated activities, and help the organization speak with one unified strategic voice. This department brings together four complementary roles. The Chief Public Affairs Officer sets the strategic direction, connects with the C-suite, and ensures public affairs supports the broader business plan. The Government Relations Manager focuses on lobbying, legislation, and relationships with officials and regulators. The Communications Director shapes public messaging, manages media relations, and oversees press strategy across channels. Finally, the Community Affairs Specialist develops local partnerships, leads corporate social responsibility initiatives, and represents the company in the community. Together, these roles align strategy, advocacy, communication, and community engagement. Public affairs is embedded throughout the business planning cycle, rather than operating as a separate function. We begin with an environmental scan, identifying external developments that could affect priorities, risks, or opportunities. From there, stakeholder engagement helps us understand expectations and build informed relationships. We then connect those insights to the broader strategy, making sure public-facing considerations support business objectives. The key point is that planning is continuous. Through regular plan reviews, we can adjust direction and keep the business plan viable as external landscape changes. Government relations serves as the advocacy engine behind informed business planning. These teams monitor proposed legislation and regulatory changes, engage directly with policymakers and their staff, submit formal comments, and coordinate with industry associations and coalitions. Their value goes beyond advocacy alone. A business plan that ignores the regulatory environment is fragile. By providing early warning signals, government relations helps planners adjust timelines, budgets, and market strategies before potential disruptions occur. That insight allows the business to respond proactively, rather than being forced to react after the rules have already changed. Community and stakeholder engagement turns corporate strategy into a trusted local presence. Community relations staff identify the people and organizations who matter most, including residents, nonprofits, and local government, then build programs that connect business interests with community needs. The key contribution is turning relationships into actionable business insight. In a business plan, stakeholder mapping can guide where to locate sites, when to expand, and how to allocate corporate social responsibility budgets. This approach helps the organization anticipate concerns, strengthen trust, and make decisions that are both commercially sound and locally relevant. Effective crisis communications depend on treating reputation management as a process, not a last-minute reaction. Preparation comes first. Organizations need crisis plans, trained spokespersons, and clear media protocols in place before an incident occurs. During the crisis, the response must be rapid and coordinated, with messaging that protects brand equity and maintains stakeholder confidence. Recovery takes longer. It requires consistent communication, accountability for what happened, and visible corrective action that demonstrates the organization is learning and rebuilding trust over time. Integrating public affairs into the business plan means treating it as a strategic business function, not an afterthought. Start by including a political and regulatory risk section, developed with public affairs input, so potential disruptions are considered alongside operational and financial risks. Next, budget explicitly for government relations, corporate social responsibility, and community programs. Define measurable public affairs objectives and connect them to business milestones. Finally, use performance metrics and a clear stakeholder strategy to track progress. Public affairs is a strategic asset, not a cost center. The key takeaways are clear. Public affairs is strategic infrastructure, shaping the conditions in which a business plan succeeds or fails. Each staff role serves a distinct purpose, from government relations to crisis communications. And integration is essential. Public affairs must be embedded in planning from the beginning, not added afterward.